Ball, Ecker, and Keelan backdoor. Now the ball game can be tied with 4:45 to go. To Apke. Apke for 22. Good. Tie game at 52. 11 points for Rick. Apke's got it. The side to Wesley. 20 seconds to play in the ball game. Creighton hanging on to the ball. They started killing the clock with about 4.5 to go. Tied at 52, 14 seconds to go. 12 seconds remaining. Now 10 seconds to play. That's Ecker. Ecker with 8 seconds remaining. Double team. They look for Apke. Apke shoots a shot. Hits it! Apke with 2 seconds to go hits it. And Creighton leads 54-52. Creighton with 2 seconds to go gets the ball to Apke. Apke's 13th point. Going for their 19th win. 2 seconds to go. The clock will not start until they catch the ball. It's taken away by Creighton. Apke shoots it. It's up, no good. And Creighton wins. The Creighton Blue Jays have won the right to go to Wichita, Kansas. A jump shot by Rick Apke with only 2 seconds to go. And the Creighton Blue Jays win their 19th ball game, 7 of their last 8. And after being 21-4 last year and being frustrated, 10,000 plus fans are going wild.
One of the most memorable shots in Creighton history happened in 1978 when Creighton faced Indiana State with All-American Larry Bird in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship game. Coach Tom Apke's younger brother Rick sank an 18-footer in the final seconds to give Creighton a 54-52 win and an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament.
It's got to be the biggest shot I ever made. I've made a few shots at the end of the game like that to win a game, but never in quite as big a game as this. This gets us to the tournament, so, I think it was the biggest.
A shot to remember, and a memory Creighton fans will never forget at the Civic.
Good evening, and welcome to Purdue basketball. Tonight, we present the first in a series of 16 Purdue games that you can see this year on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. Tonight, the Boilermakers play host to the Indiana State Sycamores. Both teams playing under new head coaches this year, and both were victorious in their opening games on Saturday night. Is chasing Larry Bird. Here is Carroll trying to make the steal. Reed picks it up. Nick fires and scores. He's got 6 points. Only his second basket of the night. He had Steve Reed, a sophomore, brings it down. High post to Easton off the Reed. This is Gilbert. Gilbert pumps in his 8th point. And it is 47-46. Steve Walker is still chasing Bird. Reed brings it down and fires. Yes, Reed sends Indiana State ahead by 1. Here is another quick-hander sticking that ball out as Gilbert comes down and Scarce makes a nice job to force him away. It's pulled off the board by Nix. He puts it up and scores. Nix gets his 8th point, and Indiana State goes ahead 50-49. Bird tips. Bird gets it again. Bird puts it up. Bird scores. He's got 22.
I think that whole year, just what the previous year was like, we thought was there. Because, like I said, the year before we had 2 7-footers, we had 5 guys over 6'8", and we were huge. And that was probably the year on paper that it should have happened. Well, we knew it right away when we beat the Russian national team. People do not realize how good that team was. That was their Olympic team. Did not have the big guy that was played in Portland. He was not with them then, but they had legitimate players on that team, and we had beaten them, I believe, the year before too, and have a great record to get in the tournament. And probably both those teams should have been.
The shot won't count. The buzzer sounds, and that's the end of the game. And Indiana State has defeated Purdue by a score of 63-53.
The little-known Indiana State Sycamores, and he started killing teams, practically 1-on-5. Larry turned Indiana State into a powerhouse. But he discovered that what most people wanted to talk about wasn't his game, but his skin color.
Bird can do it all. He beats you inside and outside as well. Bird ranks 6th on the list of all-time leading scorers and tops on our Converse All-America roster for 1979. Las Vegas is the setting for most of the premier college stars to match their skills in the 8th annual Pizza Hut Classic. Larry Bird is the feature attraction, but you can bet that many Converse All-America stars will shine before this game is over. The game itself is a benefit for Easter Seals that attracts nationwide attention, as well as professional scouts and coaches window shopping for the future. A follow-up rebound by Notre Dame's Bruce Flowers gets the East off and winging. Flowers, a determined, scrappy player who captained Notre Dame in '79, scores again for the East Stars. Most of these All-Stars will go on to the pro ranks. A bright prospect from the University of Las Vegas, Nevada, Earl Evans, helped the West bounce back. The West keeps battling, and here's a bucket by Lawrence Butler of Idaho State. It looks like volleyball until Dudley Bradley of North Carolina breaks out of the pack to score as the East stretches its lead to a commanding 17 points at halftime. In the second half, Larry Bird and Earl Evans go head-to-head. Evans becomes the game's high scorer with 21 points, leading a Western surge. The East goes back to its ace, Larry Bird. Bird scores in the clutch and sews up the game MVP honors. Detroit's Terry Durod caps off a colorful and exciting contest as the East outlasts the West 107-92.
It all began here in Salt Lake City, Utah, on the night of March 26, 1979. It was the NCAA championship, Indiana State versus Michigan State. A game that still ranks as the highest-rated college final ever on television. A game that's now remembered as a prologue to a rivalry that transformed a sport and intertwined two legacies. But on that night, March 26, 1979, the first time Magic Johnson and Larry Bird ever went head-to-head on a basketball court, they were simply two young men trying to win a very big ballgame. He and Bird were chosen to play for Team USA in the World Invitational Tournament.
They would put Larry Bird and I on the same team together to scrimmage, right? It was blowing my mind because he's dominating Jack Givens, Player of the Year in college basketball. Larry Bird is eating him alive. I couldn't wait to call home to tell my boys, man, this dude named Larry Bird is for real. This is the baddest white dude I've ever seen in my life.
Best guard on the team.
Irvin Johnson, look at that. Oh!
I think our first game was in Kentucky.
Fast break again, 3-on-2. Griffith. Wow! And that's steal by Larry Bird.
Again.
That's Bird and Johnson.
The show started again.
One extra pass, you want to get that rebound and start to break.
I go behind my back, no look to him. He no look back to me. And I'm like...
Here's that last play. Magic Johnson going in, drops off to Bird. Bird puts it back off, inside to Johnson. Super bad.
They had some wonderful moments on the court, but they...
Wherever Hoosiers gather, they no longer talk of whether Indiana has a new state bird. Now his claim to fame is just the way he plays the game. Indiana has a new state bird. It's not the Cardinal now. Hey Larry, take a bow. Indiana has a new state bird.
By the time he had led tiny ISU as a senior to a 33-0 record and a spot in the '79 title game, Larry Bird had become, alongside Magic Johnson, the talk of college basketball. Just a year after sharing the court on Team USA, they were back together. And the day before the big game, Magic couldn't wait to greet his old playmate.
Indiana State was on. I wanted to definitely... When they came through, it was like nobody was saying nothing. Sure that he didn't say nothing. And then they kind of started snickering like, Michigan State, you and...
Magic was the bigger star, but by tip-off it was Bird, having hardly missed a shot in the semifinal, who had become the focus of fans and, more importantly, of Michigan State.
We actually...
There he is, Dick. Look at they have him sandwiched in completely.
I'm surprised they didn't play a
The
because of the presence of those personalities and the buildup that that game received put college basketball into warp speed.
It was compelling television because the two of them were so enormously talented.
Oh, look at that,
That you didn't want to leave because you never knew what they might do.
Magic Johnson with the ball. Oh, he looked at Irvin. Magic Johnson.
It was a magical time.
On their side of it, I mean, being 33-0, I mean, that was just incredible. Larry affected the game 2 or 3 different ways, and the team fed off of him. Not only his scoring ability, but his passing ability and all.
Play in the season's final game, and when they did, the meeting was revolutionary.
Here are big men who love to dish it more than score it.
I'm talking about his will to win, his ability to see the whole court, to make the play.
The two guys come along at the same time.
And both were really magical when it came to passing the ball to others.
Look at Bird. Here he goes.
Determination and dedication, which you could see came from someone who did not have it easy in life and worked hard.
There goes Bird. Oh, look at that jump
The opponent turned around and looked, and then Larry brought the ball back and shot from the corner. Bullseye. It was incredible. The fans went wild.
Pecky to death. He never smiled out on the floor. He wore a perpetual game face.
And how long have you been playing basketball, Larry?
I started 2 years ago at Indiana State, so I've probably been playing. Well, I'm 22. I probably played 24 years.
24 years.
Larry Bird's math might have been a little off, but his basketball always seemed to be on target, especially in 1979, when Bird and Indiana State took flight and fashioned one of college basketball's most memorable seasons. For the Sycamores and their fans, that year wasn't just about basketball. It was about gaining respect for an overlooked and underrated team, a team that knew it was good and kept winning game after game. The closest of those games came at New Mexico State. That night, the undefeated Sycamores were headed straight for their first loss. Bird had fouled out, and State was nearly out of time.
2 seconds. Heaton half the length of the court. He made it! He made the shot! I don't believe it!
And we end up winning the game in overtime.
The Sycamores have won the ballgame, Bob. I can't believe this game. Indiana State 91. New Mexico State 89.
By the time the winning streak reached a remarkable 28, national television finally reached Indiana State.
Terre Haute and Indiana State have gone wild. They've been waiting for this day.
And Bird put in a performance worthy of an Emmy.
Pass off. Staley from the side. No good. Guess who's there? Nix shooting high. Bird is there. 43 points. Larry Bird. Student body wants Larry Bird to have the ball. He's got the ball. He's got the shot. This is Larry Bird. All-time high. 49 points.
It was a time and probably won't ever be seen again.
The one thing about the team I played on, everybody had a role and they stuck to the role. You know, if a guy averaged 6 together through the good times and the bad times, and we played good, solid basketball. We played basically the same every night. But to sit here and tell you we was going to go 30-3-0, I don't know. Undefeated, you got to stay undefeated. Well, I didn't think so. If we got beat one time, that wouldn't have killed us.
Sycamores were seeded first in the Midwest. Both teams felt the tournament was theirs to win.
One of our players, Alex Gilbert, got a rebound dunk that just ignited the crowd.
Oh, there's a great pass! Oh, he loves that one. Larry Bird threw a smile on that one, Jim.
There he is. Bird takes it to the basket and drops it in. Hey, he's doing it all right now.
Then we went on to win by...
Bird from 25. Bang! And off to Bird. He fires from 20. Got it. Bird. He's really popping now. They're standing all around this arena applauding the player of the year, Larry Bird. Bird! one of the great battles of two super players that you'll ever want to see. Munfrey jumping over Heat. Arkansas lead. Something called for Bird, takes the shot. No, it ties it. The moment of truth, folks. 7 seconds to go. Reed gets it to Heaton. Heat the clutch player. He made it! 1 second to go. Game is over. Bob Heaton keeps Indiana State undefeated. They're on to the Final Four. They're going to the Final Four. I don't know what to say. We're here. We finally made it.
It was also in sharp contrast to what lay ahead for Bird and Indiana State against a much tougher opponent. In reality, Bird's shooting was magical. A remarkable 16 of 19 for the game.
Bird, what a touch. Bird, that's his game. Nobody has it in this game. Larry Bird inside. Bird. Oh, what a shot. Does he ever miss? Bird. Oh, what a touch.
I got some easy baskets underneath, and I went outside and hit a couple shots. Right at halftime, 2 or 3 seconds to go, Brad Miley went up and kicked it off to me, and I hit a little runner, so I knew I was on a roll.
35 is what Larry got, and Indiana State needed every one of those points to hold off DePaul 76-74 and set up the meeting everyone wanted to see.
How the way we played the game, brought our teammates together, was about team instead of individuals. So I knew a little bit about what was going on.
And this was a way to sell this game to them who would do anything to win.
The Spartans dominated the game's first 10 minutes and jumped out to an early lead.
Michigan State with an 11-point lead. That's the largest of the game.
They try to make it difficult for him not to score, but to see the other guys. Because
Larry Bird's getting buried in that zone a little bit. Look at they have him sandwiched in completely. You just can't get him the ball.
If Larry Bird put the ball on the floor, we had 2 guys on him immediately.
To not let him sit there and pick us apart with his pass, we passed him along like a baton. If he was in my area, I said, okay, I got him, and then he moved across to the middle. I said, Jay, Ryan, here he is for you. Or if he goes over to the other side, okay, Irvin, you got him.
Players are not hitting that perimeter shot. Oh, great play by Bird. And he saves it. Standing ovation from some of the fans. And he gets it back. Feeds it to Bird. Bird scores. Here comes the clock. Michigan State 16-point lead has been pulled tonight. Basket here would pull Indiana State to within 6. Bird 52-46 in Indiana State.
And it came at the hand of Magic and Michigan State.
yeah, they just came back. They're playing very well, and then that play.
Whatever it was that night, Indiana State just couldn't seem to get on track. Bird, in particular, struggled, shooting just 7 of 21 to finish the game with 19 points and only 2 assists. 50 in a triple overtime game. Instead, that night, we had to settle for something different. Perhaps something even more grand. A rivalry for the ages that began the night Magic went 1-up on Larry Bird.